Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum to everyone. My name is Izzah Farzana binti Badrosham. My student ID is A200020. Today, I will give a speech about combating child labour in Myanmar for a brighter future. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. It is an honor to address such an important issue that affects the future of the children and the society as a whole. Today, I will be discussing the critical issue of child labour in Myanmar and the steps we must take to combat it for the sake of a brighter future. Did you know in Myanmar, thousands of children are subjected to exploitation? These children are often forced into labour for little to no pay, deprived of a proper education, which limits their opportunities for a better life and perpetuates the cycle of poverty. Additionally, many of these children working in conditions that no child should ever face, such as enduring hazardous and unsafe environments that pose severe risk to their health and well-being. The impact of child labour is far-reaching, not only hindering the development of these children, but also the future of the nation itself. The combination of exploitation and low wages, a lack of education, and hazardous working conditions creates an urgent need to protect children from child labour. Moreover, this issue is not just about protecting individual children but also to ensuring a better future for entire communities, societies, and also countries. These are three main ideas that I had listed: exploitation and low wages, lack of education, and hazardous working conditions. Firstly, I will explain why children should be protected from being exploited in the industry. In a 2020 In a 2023 Reuters article news based on the title H&M probes Myanmar factory abuses as pressure intensifies, this article examines allegations of child labour and poor working conditions in factories that supply global retailers like H&M, highlighting how brands and suppliers have been under increasing pressure to address labour rights violations in Southeast Asia. In the same article, this intensifying pressure highlights the growing demand for corporate responsibility in addressing labor rights violations, pushing companies to take action and ensure ethical practices in their supply chains. Reports of child labor violations in factories producing for global brands illustrate how child workers are still prevalent in the supply chains of multinational companies despite the legal frameworks in place. Secondly, I will highlight the relationship between the child labour and lack of education. Beyond the physical exploitation of child workers, the lack of access to education worsen the cycle of poverty and labour exploitation, leaving many children with limited opportunities to escape factory work. In a 2020 UNICEF report digging deeper with data child labour and learning, it highlighting child labour deprived children of their right to education, limiting their ability to break free from the cycle of poverty and exploitation which perpetuates future generations of low-skilled underpaid workers. The disruption of education for children working in factories results in a significant gap in their academic achievements, reducing their future job prospects and perpetuating the cycle of exploitation. Thirdly, I will outline the situation of the children who work dangerously endangers their health and safety. In addition to the exploitation of young workers through low wages and long hours, many children in Southeast Asian factories, especially in Myanmar, also face hazardous working conditions that jeopardize their health and safety. In the International Labour Organization ILO 2021 report, child labour in Myanmar's jade mines is a deadly gamble. The report revealed that children working in Myanmar's jade mines are subjected to life-threatening tasks, often engaging in dangerous work that adults would avoid due to the hazardous and physically demanding nature of the mining industry. The working conditions in Myanmar's jade mines pose severe health risks to children, including respiratory diseases and injuries from collapsing tunnels, which significantly undermine their well-being and future prospects. The conclusion, broadly speaking, in light of the serious risk posed by child labour from physical exploitation, lack of the education to the hazardous working conditions, it is clear that urgent action is needed to protect children and uphold their fundamental rights. to end the exploitation of children in child labour across Southeast Asia, especially in Myanmar, we must act now. Governments must enforce stronger labour laws. Corporations must take responsibility for their supply chains, and consumers must demand ethically produced goods. It's time for us all to stand together in protecting the rights and futures of children. Ultimately, protecting children is not only an investment in their future but also in the future of society as a whole, including the nation itself. In conclusion, Nelson Mandela once said that there can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Thank you for listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.